and I just finished a few hours ago Crown of Midnight, and I wanted to do a review for you when it was still fresh on my mind and all the details are still all up there. But before we start, if you are watching this and have not read Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, then I need you to hit stop or hit pause or close out this window. Maybe go watch another video of mine, or even better, go pick up Throne of Glass and read it, and then you can go and watch my review for Throne of Glass, which will be down below, and that would be great. And then you can come back and watch this review on Crown of Midnight. Okay, so bye. Okay, are you gone? Okay, if you're not gone, this is your last chance. Okay, now for the first segment, the spoiler-free review of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. And my initial reaction to this book is I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good continuation of the story. I thought that she developed the characters a lot more, so you really did finally get to connect with the characters, which I do feel that was a problem in Throne of Glass, is that you really didn't connect with any of the characters on a deep level other than like, oh yeah, that's Celaena, she's the assassin. That's Dorian, he's the prince. There's Chaol, he's a trainer. You know, there's really, until like the very last scene with Chaol and Celaena when she's in the last duel with Cain, and that's just emotional, that emotional scene of Chaol on the ground. And anyway, so other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of like really in-depth character development, and so I feel like Maas made a lot of headway and great character development, great story development. So on a scale of 10, I would probably give this one probably at a 9, 8.75, you know, because there were some things that I didn't like about it, but overall I think it was a great sequel to Throne of Glass. There's a couple things that I can tell you that I didn't like about it, and then we'll get into the spoiler part of the review. So the first thing that I didn't really like about it was, one, is that even though I didn't mind in the first book how she went back and forth between different narrators, you know, she went from Celaena to Chaol to Dorian's point of view. I didn't mind that. I still didn't mind that in this book because she did it really well, and it did enhance the story and helped move it along in a way that wouldn't have necessarily been possible if she had just kept it from Celaena's point of view. But I feel like she went too far in this book. She grabbed several like nondescript characters that had never really played a whole lot of part. They either didn't play a whole lot of part in the story, you never really heard of them. She switches to their point of view, and I know why she's doing it. She's doing it so she can tell a part of the story that she feels is important, but she can't tell otherwise. And so to me, just from a writer standpoint, I feel like if you need a certain part of the story done, but it's from a different point of view, figure out a way to get that information to your audience without having to grab this just really random narrator to come in and give you this little snippet of information. So that was a little frustrating because it also just kind of pulled you out of the story, because you're like, wait, this is not Celaena or Chaol or Dorian, this is so-and-so, and it's just, or you're like, who's talking, and it's just, it was weird, and I didn't really like it. And the second thing, what was the other thing? There was something else that I could tell you that I didn't really particularly like. I can't remember. Yeah, so overall, I think it's a great story. If you are on the fence on whether you should continue the series with Throne of Glass because you didn't particularly like it, there was some stuff that you didn't really care about the characters, I would say keep going. Crown of Midnight does raise the bar on the whole series, and yeah, so that ends the segment of the spoiler-free part of this video. So if you have not read The Crown of Midnight, you need to go. And you can go and, I don't know, watch another one of my videos. That would be cool. Or you could just go and read Crown of Midnight because it's awesome. So, give you a couple seconds to skedaddle. Okay, so spoilers. It's your last chance. Okay, let's just dive into the meat of the story, and that is the relationship between Chaol and Celaena. I knew from the first book that this was going to be, that she tried to give it like Moss tried to give a love triangle in there. But from the very beginning, I was like, no, Celaena and Chaol are going to end up, they're the ones that are together because their chemistry is amazing. That's the best part of the story, especially in Throne of Glass. And I knew that eventually Moss would get to the point where they're going to come together. So that scene on Chaol's birthday was magnificent. So, so good. It was beautiful, beautiful. I think she took it a little bit too far in the fact that they, yeah. She could have ended it with the kissing and then being together. If you read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think she took it just a little bit too far. Mainly because this is a young adult book, I think it sends the wrong message. Moving on with that. However, it was so beautiful, and I feel like it enhanced the story, and it was what we were all been waiting for, and it was a magnificent and wonderful, and you really feel that because they are connected, and even though Celaena keeps secrets from everyone, Chaol is the one person that she keeps the least amount of secrets, and she tells him as much as she feels like she can without putting his life in danger, or or exposing a part of herself that she wasn't ready to expose. So you think this is going to be the one fantasy, dystopian, sci-fi, all those adventure stories, it's going to be the one where the love interest doesn't get severed. Oh. And then, just a few chapters later, that horrible, horrible scene. We're not even going to talk about that because awful, awful. And I threw the book not across the room, but I was sitting on the couch and I tossed it to the end of the couch because I was so frustrated. I feel like it didn't enhance the story any to sever that love interest. I think that there was other things that she could have done that would not have made Celaena be alone. I think that's so frustrating because I look at all of the young adult, like adventure, sci-fi, dystopian, fantasy books that I've read, and every single stinking time the author cuts the love interest in the middle and makes the main character go through all of this crap all by herself when all along she could have had the person that could help her the most by her side. So, not happy about that. That was one of the things that brought it could have been a 10. This book could have been a 10. That was one of the things that brought it down a huge notch because I just thought it was so unnecessary. And yeah, it's just, ugh. And then it just made me realize how much of a puppet that everyone is making Celaena to be. That she's being she's being pulled by the king to do his bidding. She's being pulled by Nehemia even, who is supposed to be her friend. She's being pulled by Nehemia to do her bidding, pulled by what's her dead queen's face, I can't remember her name, pulled by her to do her bidding, pulled by Archer to do his bidding, and it's just so frustrating. I'm like, cannot just one person want to be by Celaena because they just care for her? Oh wait, that was Chaol, and cut him out. And so here's Celaena all by herself, and it's just, ugh. Okay, moving on from that, let's see. I thought the book was it was very graphic, and it was good. Like what can I say that I really loved? I loved that the ending was, I kind of saw the coming that Celaena was a fae or a fi or whatever. I kind of saw that coming, that she was going to be, there's more to her than just this random girl that became an assassin. And I loved that the end, how it ended, and it was great. Just makes me kind of angry at Celaena for continually blaming Chaol for Nahimia's death, even though it wasn't his fault. That goes back to the relationship that just frustrates me so much. Yeah, so the ending I thought was great. I wish that she would have gone into a little bit more detail of the ending. I feel like the ending was a little bit rushed, but the story was great and it left on a great cliffhanger, and I am excited to see where Moss takes this story. I think that's about it that I had to say. It was mostly just a rant about, I know it was just mostly about a rant of Celaena and Chaol's love interest. So I'm going to be done, and leave me your comments down below of what you thought. If you're going to do any spoilers, put in the very beginning spoilers, so no one that has not read this book will read your comment and be spoiled on anything. Yeah, so happy reading, guys, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye! I don't really know what that was. I never know what the noises I make at the end of the videos are. And why am I making it even longer?